be a darn good captain!
Hello everyone and welcome to 131XR, and today we're going to be talking about Clone Drone in the Hyperdome. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it's available now, so you should probably check this out. Clone Drone in the Hyperdome is the sequel to a non-VR game, Clone Drone in the Danger Zone. The game launched late last year and has had some pretty high reviews coming through on the MetaQuest store. But is it really as good as people say? So much so it's surprising it hasn't got more attention in other forms of media. However, today we're going to take a look at the game and see if all those reviews are being honest, and if Clone Drone in the Hyperdome is all that it's cracked up to be. The game begins as you take on the role of Blink. He's a character that has ended up in this world who he's not sure how he got there. He says that he's human, and he's surprised that he's in this robotic body that you find yourself in, and doesn't have a clue what's going on. As the story plays out, you'll find that there's more going on here than first meets the eye. However, as you do progress, you will meet tons of characters, with the storyline equal parts cheesy and ridiculous, and it's actually a pretty fun ride. As you go through, you'll meet tons of different characters, all instantly recognisable and all with their own level of attitude and their own combat skills. And taking down characters as you progress unlocks new abilities and items. The gameplay is a sequence of entering an arena to fight a series of non-named characters, and as you take each one of them out, you progress closer to the boss fight at the end. You must then kill the boss, and earn rewards for doing so. It is essentially a roguelike, wherein as you progress, you earn more skills and more weapons and more items and so on to help your next run. You have a limited amount of lives on each run, or clones, and should you lose them all, your run ends and you are teleported back to the lobby. If that sounds like a gameplay loop that, on paper, could get quite boring pretty quickly, you might be right to think that. But what separates Clone Drone in the Hyperdome from other games of its type is that combat. The game features a great variety of weapons, and most handle exactly as you would think they do, swinging swords and axes and polearms and dismembering your polygonal enemies. And as you do so, the enemies will react accordingly to how you damage them. For example, if you chop off the arm that they're using to hold a weapon, they will then use the other arm to pick up that weapon and continue to attack you. But the same does go for you. If you lose an arm in the arena, it's gone until the end of your run. The combat mechanics are so entertaining that Clone Drone in the Hyperdome really does have that one more go kind of feel to it. The movement options in Clone Drone in the Hyperdome are just as well thought out as the weaponry options. You've got your normal move, but also a sprint, and also a teleport. The control system can be a little confusing at the start, but once you've spent 20 to 30 minutes in the game, you'll be very familiar with everything that is expected of you, and it makes your next runs much easier once you have a grasp of dodging and ducking in and out of combat, sprinting towards an enemy in that moment of vulnerability, and teleporting away when you need some safety. The visual design of Clone Drone in the Hyperdome at first seems quite simplistic. All the characters are made of polygonal shapes, or the environments. Pretty much everything you see has some sort of polygonal shape to it. But in reality, Clone Drone in a Hyperdome is a very well detailed game. As I said before, you can dismember your enemies in a variety of different ways, cut off legs and arms and shoulders and heads and all sorts. But also those backdrops. There are tons of onlookers as you're going through these arenas, and they all follow the same style as the enemies that you're facing. Clone Drone in the Hyperdome is available now for MetaQuest headsets, priced at £15.99. We highly recommend you check this one out.